Hi everybody, it's Russ and my Hammers 11. Hope you're all safe and well. Obviously, you're new to the channel, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to be notified of any time we put new content on. Loads of great guests, including today. How can I describe him? Well, obviously, he's a man that most people know as one name, like Prince and people like that. It's 12,000 subscribers, the Hammers Chat YouTube channel, along with Gonzo. Thousands of videos, literally thousands of videos now. It's the man simply known as Gio. How you doing, man?
I'm not too bad. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for that intro. It's one of the better ones I've had.
Oh, that's good. Oh, okay, I do like to do a little bit of research. Anyway, I appreciate your time. Obviously, we chat to people all the time. Lots of fans about their memories of West Ham. You know, obviously not doing anything sort of recent because there's no recent stuff coming up. And to be honest, you and Gons pretty much do all the recent stuff. There's no point doing that. Yeah. So it's nice to look back and look at other things and talk about the players and things that mean to us. So in terms of you, Joe, you know, what would you say would be sort of let's go for your fondest memories of West Ham in of a bygone era, so to speak?
Definitely Ipswich semi-final playoff. That's my number one, because when I was younger, I was at school when that game happened. I was still at school, and all my friends were Man United fans or Man United fans. You know, they didn't even go that often. But my dad always made sure I got to 2 or 3 West Ham games a season. It used to be one home, one away, and one either or. And my brother would also get the same. And one of the 3 would tend to go together, me and my brother plus my dad. So we didn't get that often, but we got enough considering we're 550 miles away.
Yeah, that's right.
The playoff final, this playoff semi-final was like my 4th game that season, so it was like a bonus game for me. But I had to get taken out of school because I had school that day and the following day, so I had to get taken out, which doesn't go down well with the school, especially when the reason is to go watch football. Yeah. But the next day at school, it was almost like I was walking around really proud to be a West Ham fan. I was like, stuff your Premier League title, I don't care. I don't care. We're in the playoff final.
We beat Ipswich in the semi-final of the playoffs.
We are in the playoff final, thank you. So that's always been my number one as well. That's always been like right up there by a mile, excluding the last game Upton Park. But that's like a cheat, isn't it, that one?
It is a bit of a cheat, and I know that Gonzo was saying you're putting together a video about that coming up soon, which is very good. It's a cheat, but I think it's probably I reckon that was probably the last time I can remember where you really didn't understand how big a community. I mean, not for you guys, obviously you're doing it all the time, but for me, like a community of West Ham, because obviously the amount of people that were outside, and the fact that it was delayed for so long, so they can get the buses in, and there were just people there who didn't have a ticket, just to be there and just to feel that atmosphere, for one last time. So it was that sort of...
See, this is where I think if Stratford was to get it right, if we were to get it right at Stratford, we've got 50,000 West Ham fans there every game. So if you think of Upton Park, there's 32 at-home fans going into the ground for the Man United game, and you think about everyone outside, let's just say there was another 30,000 outside. Well, 60,000, that's what we're getting now. So if we were able to create a really good experience around the ground, we'd have that almost camaraderie before every home game, which is the experience at European football. But we don't. So it's I think it's a wasted opportunity, to be honest with you. And if I was a club, I'd be wondering why we're not maximising what is tens of thousands of people coming to the game.
And I think it'd be interesting now to see, because obviously, that expression, you don't know what you've got till it's gone, and because we haven't had football for so long, it's like people are chomping at the bits. I wonder if there'll be a sense of, well, we don't know, but a sense of more that the camaraderie, well, eventually when we all get back to being able to watch it properly, Christ knows that'll be, but there'll be a togetherness, a sense of togetherness, because we will all be together, and that first bubbles when everyone sings it together hopefully will be a special moment for the younger kids who haven't obviously experienced the Ipswiches or the playoff finals and things like that. I think that's going to be quite a nice moment.
I never got the playoff finals, any of them, because it was such like a big school for the first one, and the second one was because it's like a really pivotal time in my career, if you like. So I just couldn't risk sort of taking time off work and stuff. So that was all in the playoff, the FA Cup final as well. I was still at school for that. So all these big games that people speak about, I never got to any of them because I was in either at school or I was in a crucial time for my career, if you like. So now I'm sort of over that bit where I've got a bit more disposable income. I'm pretty settled with my job and stuff, but nothing's happened.
Yeah.
I almost want relegation so I can get a playoff final.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard, but but who knows? I mean, we don't know, do we? Don't know what's going to happen whenever obviously you're the Bundesliga sort of stuff at the moment. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen with that. So let's look back and sort of have some nostalgia and some cathartic sort of memories while we wait for see what happens. Right, okie dokie. What we're going to do, as I said, we do this Hammers 11. So we ask people their hammers, players that might have meant something to them, or they might not have. For example, doesn't really matter. 4-4-2. We try and keep it. It's a little bit better at video edit. So in this sort of coronavirus period, I've managed to sort of half teach myself how to do a little bit of video editing. So if people change formations, I can do a little bit now. But luckily, we're in that in an era, Gio, where we don't know what sort of left halves are. Left half, and I was like, okay, and an inside half and right here. So anyway, so we try and keep it 4-4-2. You have to be alive to have seen them play. So obviously, we can't put in, Jeff Hurst, but we could put in, I don't know, Ilan or Nene, for example.
Anyone before the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. And it's your 11, so you can talk about whoever you want. It doesn't have to be the best players. And I believe you've put some thought into this, so to speak.
Yeah, always. I've got a 4-4-2. You're all right with the 4-4-2. But basically, my rule I've gone for is only one player per nationality. Is sort of the twist I've put on it, which was easy for about 8 of the players. Then another 3 are sort of one position in particular. I thought of there's one England player in particular I wanted to put him, so I put him in first.
Yeah.
And then that sort of rules out, 3/4 of the players I've probably seen for West Ham immediately gone like that. Yeah. So, that's what I've got.
All right, good. That's it. Let's start between the sticks then. Who's got in the...
Fabianski. Straight up. It's the obvious ones. I've gone for my Polish one in there. It was either that or an English keeper, really, with Robert Green or something. But I've gone with Fabianski. I could have had his slot, I suppose. Went for Trinidad and Tobago, went really curveball. But Fabianski is unbelievable. I think he's worth points, plural, to West Ham. And I just hope that when he does leave West Ham, whether next summer his contract comes to an end, should he leave then, which he's had a couple of injuries this season, which worries me a little bit. I just hope we spend big on his position. We don't go for another makeshift cheap option. I hope we get the book out and think, right, we've proven that when you spend money on a keeper, you get it back. Fabianski's fees paid for himself by climbing up a couple of positions last season. His fees paid for by Fabianski. You can't say that for many players. No. The goal scorers and the keepers probably are the only 2 positions you can really throw that at. So I just hope we spend big and get a top keeper in for at least 3-4 seasons, so we don't have to go through this motion of replacing the number 1 every season.
Yeah, and it brings consistency, doesn't it? If you have a consistent goalkeeper, obviously, but for 2 or 3 seasons, continue it. And obviously, I think he's one of those players, and I'm a believer of the old adage, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. And when he was out, you're like, we need him, because everything builds from the back, doesn't it? If the goalkeeper's solid, the defence have got more confidence, the midfield got more confidence in defence, and yada. Yeah, fab, good shout. Yeah, love it. Okay, who are we going to have left back?
This was a position I struggled with because they're all English.
Razvan, right? He's
right. I've gone for George McCartney. I've got my Northern Irish in there. I thought he was an all right player for us, George. I thought he was. I don't think he was like amazing. He's no cult hero with that, but I thought he was. Yeah, I thought he did all right. So I put him in there. But it's just funny that his career just stopped when he left West Ham. I mean, even in his last season with us, while he was getting on a bit, it was probably the right time to let him leave. He was still playing well, so you expected him to go somewhere. He's gone. And I thought, where's he gone? He's gone out. But yeah, a good servant to the club twice.
Yeah.
So I quite liked him, actually, George.
Yeah, he was solid, wasn't he? He was a solid player. 6, 7 out of 10 most games. Didn't do anything that I can remember. Nothing stuck in my head like, oh yeah, he effed up because of this and that. So yeah, solid. Okay, he's on the left. Who are we going to have on the right back position on the other side then?
Lucas Neal. That was one of the easiest ones to do with him being Australian as well. I thought when he come in, I thought he just turned our season around, just grabbed the club was a bit of a mess, really. It was lacking direction. I think he just gave it leadership.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that he's not still involved in the game on like a non-playing capacity, not necessarily at West Ham, just around. He's someone I've always thought was very intelligent, a really good reading, and it's difficult now to be a captain and really lead a Premier League club. You've got to have something about you in this day and age. And we've seen managers usually are the ones that fall on the sword of not having control of the dressing room. So for Lucas Neal to come out, I always felt that he's one of our best captains in my lifetime. And a very good right back as well. So yeah, I mean, he got paid well when he was at West Ham. One of our first players to break through that barrier for the wages and stuff. He was one of the ones up there, but I thought he earned it. I thought he was fantastic for us. Yeah,
and I think that's that sort of having that leadership quality. Someone, who was it? Someone quoted about, it might have been Ginger Pele or someone like that, spoke about, or I can't remember off the top of my head now, but there was it was about Lucas Neal and how much he meant as a captain to the team. And I don't think there's a few we've had recently. I think Kevin Nolan was a good captain.
Yeah, those two are my two that I would put above and beyond the rest in my lifetime.
No, exactly. So I think it's a quality which is not apparent as often amongst players. And I think you get that as well, when, even like for England and Scotland international games, you got the youngsters don't tend to have that level of maturity and leadership.
Yeah.
John Terry's and people like that, they could lead a team, you might not like them, but they could lead a team. And okay, we'll put Lucas on the right back. Who are we going to have in centre back positions?
Winston Reid's the easy one for me here. New Zealand, Kiwi. That gets my awkward international out of the way. But I do genuinely think he is. It's frustrating because he's a few injuries, or lack of injuries, should I say, away from being a legend at West Ham. 9 years service. He didn't have. If he wasn't to play for the whole 9 years, well, I think he would be up there. He'd be spoken about in 10, 20 years' time to come as one of the all-time greats. But his injuries stopped him from elevating himself to that position. I think he's a hero. I think he's sort of like a James Collins sort of level of a cult hero. But he's one of the best centre-backs I've ever seen for West Ham. On his day, I thought he was one of the best centre-backs in the league. Man City away, him at Man City away is probably the best individual performance I've seen of a West Ham player in my lifetime. Maybe excluding the likes of Dimitri Payet, but certainly from a defender point of view, he was just unbelievable. And I do think in his peak at West Ham, he could have played for nearly anyone in the Premier League. He could have left us. He had that opportunity to go and leave us. He started with us, got rewarded with a monster contract over 6 years, which we're now paying for. But at the time, I thought he deserved it. I do really think Winston Reid is. I think he's underappreciated, actually. And when you say you don't appreciate what you got to, you don't have it, whatever. Actually, we don't have him anymore, and I still don't think he's appreciated enough. I think Winston Reid deserves a lot more respect, and I hope that somehow we can give him a testimonial before he leaves, because we're not going to see a testimonial thing much very often now in the Premier League. 10 years of service is going to be a very rare thing. And I just think that I just hope he gets it, actually. I think he'd be a fantastic servant.
I agree. And I remember all the fanfare when we were going to sign him. We were going to sign this World Cup defender. It's like, oh, who is it? Who is it?
He was
New Zealand.
When he first come.
But they were undefeated. They were undefeated in 2010. So, Winnie Reid, and he'll always go down in folklore, won't he? Because obviously scoring the last goal at the Boleyn. So he'll always be there, always be revered. Okay, who's going to partner Winston in the defence then?
I've gone for my Welshman, and it's not James Collins, it's Danny Gabidon. A lot of people would prefer James Collins, but I prefer Gabidon. I thought he was a brilliant defender on his day, one of the quickest centre-backs I've ever seen. Whenever I watch highlights from West Ham seasons or whatever, from a defensive point of view, Gabidon features in them a lot, whether it's like a goal line clearance, a last-ditch tackle, whatever. Gabidon's there, and I just think he's another one that's not underappreciated. I do think we maybe appreciate him, but I just think that because of James Collins almost being the same nationality, I think it overshadows him in a way. I think that Gabby Dog gets put down because James Collins is also Welsh. But yeah, Gabby Dog for me, one of my favourite players in that era.
And again, it's one of those similar players to McCartney and Lucas Neal. And when they left, it's like they didn't. That was it. Yeah, they went downhill from there on. So weird. But Gabs. Yeah, and obviously he came in with GP, didn't he? And it was like, and I agree totally. I think he's underappreciated as a player. I like that. I like the theme as well. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so that's your defence, your goalie. Who are we going to have left wing?
It's going to be Dimitri, isn't it? It's got to be. So there was a few French players that we've had that have been quite good. Quite like Schemmel at right back, actually. He was probably I really liked him, but it's got to be Payet. He's the best player I've ever seen at West Ham, and I include Di Canio in that. I think he's better than... the guy was 17 on Ballon d'Or when he was with West Ham. I mean,
exactly. When was the last time that happened? So.
Yeah, well, it equates to the 17th best player in the world at that time. He was a West Ham player. You know, how proud were we? You know, normally when I watch the international major tournaments, it's a bit crap for me. My country's never there.
Yeah.
You know, it's 98 in Scotland were last at something, and I was a little boy. I didn't understand football then. So, but I had pride watching Dimitri Payet play as a West Ham player. And he, when Slav climbed on the table to celebrate his goal or something, I thought, just how ridiculous is it that we have this guy? The world of football was talking about Dimitri Payet, his free kicks, his skills and everything. He was West Ham's, and what an unbelievable privilege it was to watch him play.
Yes, definitely.
Magician, he had everything, but he was just class. Some of these players, like McCartney, for example, very hard-working, but he's limited in ability. Dimitri Payet was just oozed, didn't he? He just oozed everything. You just thought, wow, what's a player? And it's going to be a long time till we get that wow factor back from someone.
Exactly, and I think I totally agree. I think Gonzo said it. He was saying when we sang his song, it was almost out of disbelief than anything else. Where like other songs are like a joke, Christian Daly, but it was like we've got Payet. I just don't think it's like he's plays for us, and I agree totally. When he was like, it was I think it was Benji Lanyado said something about that. He watched that Euro Championship in a pub, and Dimitri scored the first goal, and he was like, he plays for our club. And I don't remember feeling that sense of pride for a player internationally.
No, he was getting linked to Real Madrid, and West Ham fans were like, 80 million, you're not having him. I mean, it's just... And this was 4 years ago, remember? So I know prices. If it was today, we'd be saying 150 million. We're breaking world records here. He was that good.
He was. All right, we'll put Dimmy on the left. Who's going to go on the right then?
Trevor Sinclair. That's my English player. Probably my favourite player growing up as a child, and I used to try and copy him a little bit as a kid. His crossing and stuff like that. I used to try and copy him, but I thought he was just fantastic. He could score. He could set them up. He was fast. He was very direct, which is what I think we miss now. Now there's this culture of players having to play on the opposite side. So your right foot, you've got to go on the left and cut in and stuff. But in order to score goals, Trevor showed that you could score goals playing on the right with your right foot. And that's like a rare thing now in modern football. It's almost like you want to score, you've got to go over to the other side. Not really. Go watch Trevor Sinclair and you'll change your mind. He's the first name I wrote down, actually. Trevor Sinclair was the very first name I put down.
Exactly. No, great shout. And as you said, I think there's something really exciting about a winger who just does who can just run to the byline, beat the left back or right back, cross it in. That's such a simple thing, as long as you've got the right striker to head it in. But
we overcomplicated it. We overcomplicated too much now. They got to the byline and turn around and pass it back. But we almost miss the directness of players like Trevor Sinclair, Matty Etherington and stuff. We miss a little bit of that now. But Trevor Sinclair was probably one of the first players I really sort of fell in love with as a footballer.
Yeah, great show. Okay, we'll put Trevor on the right. Who are we going to have in the centres?
Another easy one for me, Alex Song, my Cameroon player. You talk about Dimitri Payet oozing class. This guy, I keep saying it, but he was like football porn. Do you know when he got the ball? He just thought, you're not getting off him.
Yeah.
You're not tackling him. There was a pass he used to see stuff that no one else in our team could see. So I think he could see a run from a player, and the player wasn't even making the run. he was just given the ball and the player would start running towards it. And you were like, what a run. Well, actually, he didn't even run.
Yeah.
He ran because Song played in the pass. I still remember him and Noble against Man City at Upton Park. And they ran that midfield, and they were up against like a prime Yaya Toure, but Song and Noble were just pass. The trust that they had, the understanding they had, and Song made Mark Noble a better footballer. I'm convinced. I think Payet did as well.
Yeah.
But I do think Song did it first. I think when Song came into the team, I think Mark Noble really did step up a gear in terms of the passing and stuff. And that's why I know this is supposed to be like good players, but I've never been a big fan of Cheku Kiati. I've just never really understood him. I think I could have put him in centre back. I think he's a top class centre back. But centre midfield didn't understand it, but he got away with it with Song and Noble because he didn't have to pass the ball.
Yeah,
he was able to just run around. But as soon as you took Song out, it was sort of like, well, Kiati, you're now going to have to pass the ball, and he just can't do it. And that's when you realise that Song was just. Yeah. I think he's the best passer I've ever seen at West Ham.
Yeah. Well, I remember the fanfare when we signed him. I remember turning up to our pre-match meeting and being told that we're signing Alex Song on the pitch, and it's a bit hush. I was like, what? Because this was like a guy that you sort of knew at Arsenal and you knew he was good, but he kept getting injured. It was like, but yeah, I agree. He was class for us. That sort of first period was class. And obviously, again, another one, injuries and stuff like that. We know it's played his whole career, isn't it? So it's not like it was anything new to us. But Song, great shout. Okay, who's Song going to partner in the mid?
Well, I was tempted to go with Irish Rice, but I thought that might be cheating. So I've gone with Berkovic in there as well. I don't remember Berkovic as clear as any of the other players on this, because this was when I sort of first began to understand football, if you like. But he was just mustard, wasn't he? He was just he would walk into a lot of the Premier League clubs today. Like if you took Berkovic and put him into Premier League today, there's not many clubs. I mean, I'm including like Man United in that in here. He would get a game for them. He was that good. He was just his vision, his creativity. Wow. He was someone that used to enjoy playing football and used to enjoy watching him enjoy playing football, if that makes sense.
No, I get you. Yeah, definitely. And I think watching back through, I know Robert Banks is obviously digitalising all the season reviews. That's a bit like Netflix for West Ham fans, isn't it, to be honest? But completed it. But I have this newfound respect for Berkovic. I didn't realise how many goals of Hartson's he set up. And it's like, and he was one of those players, I think, as you said, he could walk into any team. I just think on his day he was mustard. He was
just ridiculously good. He was just. I just wish I was older when he plays.
Yeah, I get you.
Appreciate it more, because as a kid, you're sort of interested in who scores the goals and stuff. You don't really appreciate the dynamics behind the assists and stuff. But as you get older and you look back, you think, "Wow, what a player that was!" Yeah. And I've done it with a few players from other clubs as well. Like, so when I see players, I think, wow, that guy was like Mark Overmars, for example. I remember watching Arsenal stuff thinking, bloody hell, he was. I know he's well thought of, but then when you watch it a bit older, you think, I don't remember watching this when I was younger. But when you're younger, you don't look at the step overs and the drop of the shoulder and stuff. So when you grow up and you go back and watch it, you see it from a completely different perspective. And I always like that for me.
Yeah, no, definitely great shot. And I think if they were playing in the midfield, I think Berkovic, Song, Payet, that is proper tasty. And then obviously
goals in there.
And obviously Sinclair, a bit of pace as well. Yeah, but not much defensive flair, but doesn't matter. We got solid people at the back. They're not going to hang back.
I'm going for scoring here. I don't mind. I'm not here for clean sheets.
Yeah, Gianfranco Zola type football. I like it, love it. All right, who are we going to have up front?
Di Canio. I'm going to go for the obvious one first, the Italian stallion and all that. Second best player I've ever seen for West Ham. Yeah. That'll annoy the Di Canio fans out there. But it's not really. I was still a fan of him. Yeah, I just think Payet was better. But he was a magician. Yeah. He was someone that actually, when I was a West Ham fan at school, a lot of other people that watch football and that used to say to me, like, bloody hell, Di Canio was like our poster boy. He was our PR man, if you like. He's one of the first. I had a few shirts with his names on it and stuff. Sometimes I would turn up to like football training or something, and I'd have like Defoe on the back, and everybody would say, "Who's that?" I turned up with Di Canio, everyone knew who it was, and that was sort of like testament to how good he was. That even people that were like plastic football fan, although they were only like 10 years old. But like, even though they were Man U fans, they still knew who Di Canio was. They were still aware of his ability. He was just someone that, when you got the ball, you told your breath because you were like, well, what's he going to do here? Because you just didn't know.
No.
And that's what, he was just an exciting talent.
Yeah. And I don't think he knew half the time, to be honest. You know? and,
no,
and I think he's
Redknapp, and that's what he did.
Exactly. But I think it's the same thing with Payet. You know, he would get you off your seat a second before you got the ball, because you know it's going to him, and you know for Payet, or you know he's going to do his chop, which he used to do every time, but every defender fell for it, or a little turn. And as you said, you know, he was class, wasn't it? And what's quite funny with Payet and Di Canio, obviously both have synonymous songs, which for me encapsulate that period they played in. Do you know what I mean? It's like the Payet song and the Di Canio song. That Di Canio song was that mid 90s period. You know, it was that sort of it was just so, you know, poetic. And we've got people on the channel who are doing like their chance 11. So obviously, you know, quite clearly Di Canio and PDC and the Payet's in it. But loved them. No, I agree. I think Payet was the best player I've ever seen play, and this Di Canio was not bad, number 2. Right, okay, who's going to partner PDC up front then?
Well, I'm a bit gutted I've used Sinclair for England, so I can't use Ashton, but I'm going to go for Tevez because he's Argentinian. We only seen it for the second half of the season, but that guy, actually, I think he was better than Payet. When you took Tevez's peak, which wasn't at West Ham, that was away from West Ham, he is probably better than anyone that we've got on this my team right now. He was world class. Payet was world class for a season. Di Canio could be world class for 90 minutes, but you didn't know if he was going to turn up for the other 90 minutes, literally, in some cases.
Exactly. If it was north of Watford,
But Tevez was world class for seasons, like consistently at City as well, and even when he went into Man U briefly and stuff, he was just unbelievable the talent that guy had. I think he gets almost too much credit, actually. It's 13 years this week since that win at Old Trafford. But I do think he sort of steals the limelight away from Zamora a little bit. Yeah. But he was just... The ability he had was just incredible, really. It's just a pity that we didn't see it at West Ham for longer, or as much of it as at West Ham. It took him so long to get going. Because had he been April, May's form from August... Yes, we'd have had a much different season.
No problem with that.
And a much cheaper one as well.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck yeah. But I mean, you know, with Tevez, you know, when you think about him, you know, there's not many, I'd say, foreign-based players, apart from Paolo, obviously, who get West Ham. You know, he was only here for a short amount of time, and even when he came back and sort of, you know, was credited of bringing the crosshabbers. But
he was up with City and just you know. But...
Exactly, and I don't think anyone's had that reaction coming back. We were chanting. I remember the guys. Obviously, I couldn't really hear because we had glass, so you can't really hear anything. But you could hear the chants well before kickoff for Tevez and stuff. And obviously now, obviously it's a bit of a joke, isn't it? When we play Sheffield United or Neil Warnock teams turn up to London Stadium, we do one Carlos Tevez, but he made such an impact for a relatively short amount of time. And again, he just got West Ham, and I think, and same as Paolo, obviously he just gets West Ham, and particularly now with his lockdown videos of him doing keepy uppies and singing Bubbles in 1950s shirt and stuff. But there's a lot of skill in here. You'd be first on Match of the Day. That's for sure. May not necessarily be for the right reason some weeks, but Fabianski in goal, George McCartney on left back, Lucas Neal on the right, Reed and Gabs in the middle, and then we got Payet on the left, Sinks on the right, Song and Berkovic in the middle, PDC and Tevez. That is tasty. That is proper FIFA, isn't it? If you were buying, it's like a FIFA team you put together just to all out attack.
A bit of entertainment. Anyways, getting the punters in. I'm going to have, that atmosphere we were talking earlier, the atmosphere outside the Man United game. Yeah. I'm going to have that every week with this team coming out.
Love it.
People aren't missing it. They're turning up early for a little bit of this.
Just for the trade, just for the warm-ups. Just to warm it up.
I've got Irish rice on my bench.
Irish rice. Love it. Gio, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure chatting. Obviously, appreciate the time you thought, and there's been a lot of thought, I can tell, going into this team, and that's what's great. And obviously, thanks to everyone else for obviously watching. Obviously, you know what to do: like, subscribe. Obviously, if you haven't already, like, subscribe to the Hammers Chat because they're brilliant, and I love everything they do. And until next time, guys, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.